3, 2, 1.
What does it really take to make it as an independent artist today?
What we're now seeing is a faster churnout, more burnout.
Welcome to Drop School, a 6-week masterclass following one independent artist as she tries to make it big in the music industry. She'll meet with experts who will set her challenges before she has to drop a brand new single at her very own release party. Will it be enough to break her as an artist? Without a record label, can she make it on her own?
I respect the hustle in it.
You've changed.
WeTransfer made me different.
This is Drop School.
Hey BINA, what's up? It's Jyoty, your mentor. We're halfway through your drop school education and we've got a lot to get through. This week we're talking exposure. In the past, if you wanted to make it big, you relied on radio and TV. But are these traditional forms of exposure dead? Who are the new tastemakers and how do you reach them as an independent artist? Let's find out. Television, radio, magazines, print magazines, are they still as important as they used to be for an independent artist like yourself?
Those outlets still are helpful. I just think that now they kind of add to quote unquote like credibility.
Where have you been focusing your attention on?
Right now, social media, I do a lot of my like release and day-to-day artist marketing on autopilot because this is what I've learned over the years is the right thing to do.
Social media is a great new form of press. And I'm actually specifically talking about tastemakers on social media. For example, the most viral TikTok of me, it wasn't on my page. It was on a page called The Favorite. There's actually a lot of pages like that. First one that comes to mind specifically in the UK is the Blues Project. I got a follow from them and they had about 200 followers at the time. Now they're
on
huge.
like tens of thousands.
They have a Spotify playlist that does really well. So I think there are very different avenues to now look at how to get your sound across to different type of people. I actually also wanted to bring up live performance platforms. Obviously there's Colors and now there's On The Radar.
I was literally about to mention
For
them.
the rap kids, the reason why these platforms are so huge is because it combines audio with visual stimulation and also just seeing this artist, watching them perform. You get an insight on what they're like as a personality, which can immediately make you fall in love with that person. So this week, I've set you up with someone very special that I think you may have heard of. It's the artist Annie.
Yeah.
Annie burst onto the scene with Paying Black Girls in 2020, finding huge success after a colour set with the remix featuring Georgia Smith and smashing a GRM Daily Duppy.
Mum said, shit, you want to cry, I'll give you something to cry about.
Multiple AIM awards, plus collabs with artists like Getz and Unknown T has cemented her in the music industry. We've come to meet Annie at Route 73 to get some advice on gaining exposure before the drop event.
One of the most important things aside from being an artist is how you market your art.
Yeah,
and people
yeah.
only look and listen if you make them want to look and listen. And so it's like, how can I hook people in? What is going to make people turn?
Yeah. And for you, that's like your music videos.
I really like music videos. I like building worlds around projects and releases. So even with like No More Nigerman, we did like a whole ad.
I remember that.
I was posting like passive-aggressive memes. There was like bits of engagement and people were like, wait, what? Keep the conversation going longer.
Music videos from MTV days have been like such a big thing and they still are. As I even saw with like Dopamine and stuff, it was like people responded well because the visuals were sick as well. Yeah, thank you. So annoying. But I'm like, are there other things like PR and radio, like are these things important still?
I think now there's two worlds to the music industry, whereas you can just go on TikTok or you have direct access to cultivating your own fan base and connecting with people, but then there's also an institution that can help, which is PR, which is radio, which is all these other things. You know, so you have to remember there's as many people are on the internet, there's as many people not on it.
Exactly.
And there's as many people in cabs that are just still banging out radio.
Yeah,
so it's just,
that's true.
I guess important not to isolate that audience because we don't think it's in. Like you just tap in wherever you can.
This week, BINA's exposure challenge is to reach out and pitch Dirty Jeans to tastemaker publications. So it's time for us to figure out how.
How do you find these people?
I stalk men online. So, like, I clicked on an article, a write-up with an artist.
This is really cool.
And then the text is by this person, Googled, and then this is their Insta. So I would just, like, message them.
Do you ever find people on LinkedIn?
Oh my God, we should do that.
Add note.
Hey, baby. You're gonna write, hey, baby?
With the drop event only a month away, we need to reach out to as many publications as possible.
Any others that you would love, like a feature on?
I think Notion would be cool.
Notion.
Online publications like Notion, WaveMag, Gaucho World, Crack Magazine, and Complex are ideal sources for exposure.
Do you feel weird DM, like sliding into people's DMs? Really? How has any influenced you and your approach to gaining exposure?
I like the fact that she was vulnerable enough to share that she finds it hard sometimes to do certain things, like be online a lot of the time, because it's like obviously you're allowing yourself to be looked at and perceived all the time. Even if it's not the actual fear or dislike of being perceived, it can sometimes be like, is what I'm doing cringe?
Whilst BINA is working on her challenge, we set her up with another tastemaker for some exposure inspiration. Joel Borquaye is senior editor at Spotify. He's best known for curating the Who We Be playlist, a flagship brand representing Black British culture, championing artists like Strands, Tamara, Skilly Bang, Bad Boy Tims, and Rema. Spotify editors see thousands of pitches a month, so they know what it takes to stand out. To get exposure, artists have to submit a pitch alongside their track to let platforms know who they are and where they fit in.
I don't really read emails. I don't read DMs. I'm not coming off to search for people on social. All the editors going off on is this pitch, especially if you're an emerging artist. The best ones I've seen let us know the plan and support they're looking to get or receive or have had outside of Spotify. The ones that I get really interested in by is the ones that can really convey their personality, especially independent and emerging artists. What puts me off a pitch when there's no writing, some people just submit a pitch with nothing. When the music is good and it really suits the audience that we're trying to reach, we then pitch on your behalf, even if I've never met the artist, if I've never spoken to a manager, even if I don't have any emails from that team or anything like that. Having that pitch information is what I'm using to be like, oh yeah, this artist is sick, they have this coming, and then after 3 months they're playing here. I guess people don't realize inside you have champions in the building that are campaigning for further support.
It's clear how important the perfect pitch is, but BINA is feeling the pressure of summing up who she is as an artist.
The most challenging part is trying to summarize your whole career so far, in my case, the past 5 years, in one page. With Dirty Jeans, there were so many elements involved. The process with Blue Light Beats and also the cover art.
Got a lot of my work cut out for me.
I often find myself trying to comb through the most significant events, but not in a way that seems overly markety. I think that's challenging.
How are you feeling?
I just want to get it done.
But did BINA hit her submission deadline? Hey BINA, it's Jyoty. Can't wait to hear what you've come up with for your exposure challenge. It's challenge reveal day and Jyoty's calling in from New York to see what exposure BINA's managed to get for Dirty Jeans.
How did it go? What did you do and why did you do it?
A bit of a last minute rush, but BINA completed her challenge attempt.
I reached out to New Wave, What, Notion, Colours, still waiting for a response.
BINA's tried her best, but she hasn't had any responses from the publications, but she still needs to get her challenge attempt graded.
I actually received an audio note from Joel with some feedback. I feel like we should listen to it together and see what he says.
So I've just had a look at the press pack. I'd suggest to add maybe links to a folder with press shots, depending if you're sending to radio, like a WAV file.
BINA's done all she could, but her pitch still needs work, and with no responses, unfortunately, this week's challenge is a fail. The perfect pitch takes practice, and the more BINA tries to gain exposure, the better she'll get at marketing herself and taking people on her journey.
How do you feel?
It feels like if you get a C grade instead of an A star.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
It was a chance for me to have a think about what are the ingredients for a successful press release.
Yeah.
But I know what I can do differently next time.
Part of exposure is being exposed. Not necessarily in the end result, which is the colors recording, which is the feature in a magazine. It is being exposed to the people who controlled these features. You have started the journey of them keeping up with what you're doing.
Yeah, that's
and they will find a right time where they feel like it is now time for them to tell your story to their audiences. And I think what's also really good is to then now take the skill set in this toolbox and to consider in the future writing to publications that maybe you don't necessarily think go hand in hand with your sound and your image. And I think you've done really well.
Thank you.
It's a fail for this week, and with the Drop event only 3 weeks away, there's no time to slow down. Next time on Drop School.
No one here talks about money.
I just never wanted to be the artist that was crying about how shit my deal was.
Can we push you to that level?
Maybe the road towards that should be a bit hard.
Just to feel a bit on edge about it. It's okay.